StrayAllDay.com.
You are now tuned in to the show where you learn the discipline to show up day after day to do the work, the confidence to put yourself out there boldly and authentically, and the mental toughness to continue showing up, doing the work, putting yourself out there, even when the success you've expected to achieve has yet to be achieved. And on top of all this, you get a huge dose of personal initiative, which is the go-getter energy that moves me, you, him, her, everyone else out there to go and make things happen instead of waiting for things to happen. We put all this together into one bundle, one package, one mindset, one method, one philosophy. There's also a book and the show, the masterclass you're listening to, watching right now. It is called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, and welcome everyone to the show. And ladies and gentlemen, what you're listening to here today is, every episode of this show is special. Every masterclass I put out here is special, but today is a especially special show that we're putting out here. And I think if you know who I am, if you're watching this or listening to this right now, you probably have some idea who I am. And unless you live under a rock, which you can't, because otherwise you wouldn't be listening to me right now, you know what the news is. It's happened over the last 24 hours that we lost a legend from the sports world by the name of Kobe Bryant. He just passed away in a helicopter accident Sunday morning out in California. Now, you've heard that news, and the reason that I'm doing this masterclass right now, this episode right now, and this one, I've already told my producer we're opening this one up to all listeners. This is not just going to be, you can listen to the whole thing, not just for game group members, as most of my masterclasses are now. If you are alive today, the reason why I'm opening this up for everybody is because if you're alive today and you have ever picked up a basketball, then this man who we're talking about here today has had an effect on your experience of the game. And probably even many of you who don't even play the sport of basketball. Kobe wasn't a guy who had a niche audience. He wasn't popular just to a certain pocket of individuals or even in just one certain industry of the world. We all know who Kobe Bryant is without Googling. Right? Nobody has to Google who is Kobe Bryant. Sometimes a person passes away and there's a certain pocket of people who are interested in it and they're excited about it and they're talking about it and people are devastated and they're saying things and they do tributes and you're like, I don't even know who that person is. Kobe Bryant's not that type of person. He's a person who everybody knows who he is. Even if you don't play basketball, you don't even watch basketball. Now, even though Kobe, now those of y'all who, I think many of you know, I'm from the city of Philadelphia. I live in South Florida now, but I'm from Philadelphia. Now, even though Kobe is technically from Lower Merion and not Philadelphia proper, I always maintained this, that if there was ever a big basketball game or tournament where we took all the guys from each city and put them onto a team and just put all those teams together in a tournament, listen, Philly, we're claiming Kobe. All right, Kobe's on our team. All right, he's on our roster because he's close enough. All right, we're claiming that guy. And what I want to share with you all today, I wasn't even planning on recording today. I wasn't even planning on putting anything out. Actually, I wasn't going to record for a minute because I'm actually about to go on the road for a little while. But I already we got plenty of material for you in the meantime. But I wasn't going to record it all today. But when this happened, I wanted to share something. And I think the best way for me to share something is not going to be through a long Instagram caption or any kind of highly produced video. This is not really the thing that I do. I think the best way to do it would be through something like what we're talking about here today. That's why I made this special episode that is specifically made for Kobe Bryant. And what we're going to talk about here today, as I was saying, is what Kobe's name and legacy and what energy it evokes in people, what it means to somebody like myself, being a former professional basketball player, and all of you who play basketball, are involved in basketball, or basketball enthusiasts in any way, and what it means to us, at least of what we know of him as a player. That's not even to speak of this man as a father, as a husband, as a family member. So respect to the Kobe Bryant's family and the people who knew him on a personal level, which I did not, and didn't play ball with him or anything like that. But because many of us, millions of us, were touched by his work, by his legacy, by the things that he did out on that basketball court without ever having a direct interaction with him. He did so much that this was the best way that I felt like I could share what Kobe Bryant's legacy or what the Mamba mentality or anything. Just when you say the name Kobe Bryant, what exactly does it mean to you? That's what I want to talk about here today. So let's get into our points. For those of you who don't normally listen to the show, what I do is I introduce the topic, which I've been doing for the last 5 minutes. And then what I do is go into the exact points that I want to make for that. So that's what we're doing here today. I got 6 specific points of what I want to share with you here today when it comes to Kobe Bryant. So let's get into it. Number 1, Kobe Bryant was a hard driver. I mean, I think we all can agree with this. Again, even if you didn't know him and you didn't work with him one-on-one, you knew from what you heard and what you saw from the results that he produced. So you can't produce results like that without putting some work in and putting some time in. Nobody rolls out of bed waking up like that, Beyonce, without doing any work, without putting any effort in. I don't care how talented you are. There was one particular season late in Kobe's career, probably one of the last maybe 4 or 5 years of his career, where the LA Lakers, his team that he played for I think 20 seasons, they were getting off to a slow start during that season. They had been losing more games than anyone expected them to lose, but they had all these good players on the team. They had, obviously, Kobe Bryant, one of the greatest players of all time, on the team. And one of the reporters, after another Lakers loss, came up to Kobe and asked him, Kobe, hey, he said, well, Kobe, you guys are losing a lot of games. You're not doing as well as people expected, probably not as well as you all even expected. Are you going to be able to get it together? Are y'all going to figure this out and actually become a good team like we're expecting y'all to be a good team? And then Kobe Bryant said, well, listen, we don't have a choice but to figure it out and become a better team, because I'll kick everybody's ass in this locker room if we don't. Now, I don't know if Kobe meant that literally or metaphorically. We know he at least meant it metaphorically. Maybe he also meant it literally. But the thing that I loved about that was Kobe was establishing through that comment. I don't think he was establishing, actually. He was just reminding himself, that reporter, and anyone else on that Lakers team who happened to be within earshot of him saying that, or who were reading in the paper the next day or see it in the media as I did the following day. He was letting them know, listen, I'm in control of this ship, and things are going to go the way that I say they go. And anybody who isn't going to get in line with what I'm doing, you're going to have a problem with me, which means either we're going to have to deal with it one-on-one, or you're not going to be on this team anymore, one or the other. But it can be your choice, but we are going to figure this out. And he was establishing that, and he had the cachet. He had built up the cachet to that point that he could say that out loud. And I don't remember exactly what season it was that he said this, but I think the Lakers did start to figure things out. Because, listen, the guy that was leading them said, we ain't got no choice but to figure it out. He wasn't giving himself a plan B. He wasn't giving himself an out clause. He said, we are going to figure this thing out. Now, a few years later, some of you may remember this one even better. There was footage that came out right at the end of practice, from a Lakers practice one day. And for those of y'all who don't know how it usually works with an NBA, teams' practices are usually closed off. But the last, let's say 10 to 15 minutes, maybe half hour of practice, the doors get open and the media is allowed to come in and see what's going on in practice. Now, often, since teams know this, that the media gets to come in at the end, often they get in their most important work during the period where the media can't come in. And then once the media can come in, they're doing stuff. The players are doing things that they don't care if the media sees it, such as shooting free throws, players working on their jump shots and doing things, maybe stretching, things like that. Every once in a while, you get to catch a little bit of a clip of some actual live scrimmaging going on. In this particular situation, there was a scrimmage going on, LA Lakers, and Kobe's in there, and he's just talking all kinds of shit to his teammates, telling them that they're soft, telling them that they're weak, that they're not doing anything to help him, that y'all just don't have anything for me. Y'all can't help me at all. These are his teammates, his co-workers that he's talking all this shit to. And the Lakers general manager, the person who's basically responsible for choosing the players that play there, Kobe, he was standing on the sideline watching this happen, watching Kobe talk all this shit. And Kobe starts talking shit to the general manager. Like, yo, these motherfuckers ain't doing nothing for me. Like, these are the guys that you hired, Mr. General Manager. You brought these guys in to play with me. Like, how are you expect us to win with these guys on the team? He didn't say in so many words, but that's pretty much the message that he was conveying. And you can look that one up. I'm pretty sure you'll be able to find it very easily on YouTube, of Kobe just talking shit to his teammates and to the general manager as well. And stories say, from the people that I hear, whether it be through Shaquille O'Neal, a whole bunch of people who have played with the Lakers, people who've been around the organization, the stories say that he was always like this. And being around him, the point of me pointing that out in point number one is that being around Kobe meant you were going to have no choice but to step your own game up. If you're going to be on this team and you're going to be around me, then you got to roll at the level that I roll at. You got to move when I'm ready to move. And if you're not willing to work hard the way that I'm willing to work hard, then listen, you're going to get pushed out of here. You're not going to want to be here, or I'm going to torment you, basically, which is what he was doing. And again, in most work situations, you can't deal with your coworkers this way. But in sports, some people can get away with it. Most people can't, but some people can. Kobe Bryant had earned the right. What I'm talking about here in point number one of Kobe being a hard driver, he had earned the right to be like this with his teammates because they knew the work that he put in. They knew the ability that he had. They saw the results that he produced for his team. Therefore, when he stepped up and said, listen, this is what we need to do, and when he talked shit to his teammates in the middle of practice, and he probably did it in the games as well, nobody can say anything back to him because you don't have the reputation that I got. You haven't put the work in that I have. You haven't produced the results that I produce. Therefore, I've earned the right to say the things that I say, whether you like them or not. That just falls into the background. Point number 2. Today's topic is we are talking Kobe Bryant. Rest in peace to the legend Kobe Bryant, who passed away suddenly at the age of 41 in an accident in California. Point number 2, sink or swim. Meeting the challenge. Now this one right here, actually that sink or swim phrase is something that I heard Kobe Bryant use years after he had been in the league, maybe 4 or 5 years after Kobe had been in the NBA. Now, many of you probably know that Kobe Bryant skipped college. He went straight from playing high school basketball to getting drafted into the NBA and playing. And years later, as the years followed, several other players followed in his footsteps, and he was following in someone else's footsteps, but more players followed in those footsteps, and they skipped college and went straight to playing in the NBA. And there was an article that I was reading once where the author of the article was just writing about the rigors of going from being a high school basketball player to getting drafted and trying to find your footing playing in the NBA, because in case you didn't know, not every high school player who skips college and goes to the NBA was as successful as a Kobe Bryant. Some of them washed out of the league and we don't even remember their names. Some of them became average at best players. Some of them did not have very long careers. Not everybody who was, even though they were talented enough to forego college and go to the NBA draft and actually get chosen and get a contract, doesn't mean that they will last long enough, because once you get to the professional level, listen, everybody has talent. So your talent got you here, but your talent's not going to be all that keeps you here, no matter how talented you are. And in that article, the writer had asked Kobe, hey, how would you describe the experience of coming from high school to the NBA? And the first thing that Kobe said, I'm sure he said a whole lot more than just this, but the first thing he said was, it's sink or swim, baby. Sink or swim. You got thrown into the deep end of the pool. You either going to figure out how to do what you got to do here and last in this league, or you're going to drown in this pool and we'll never hear your name again. Those are only options you give yourself when you forego college and go straight to the league. You can't go back to college because you already signed a contract. What else are you going to do? That's it. You're either going to make it here or you're not. And if you don't make it, you're going to become a cautionary tale or a punchline for somebody later on in life, or a hashtag for somebody later on in life, or you could become the person who makes it and becomes successful. But meeting the challenge is what Kobe Bryant was all about, by all stories that I've heard. I remember in 1997, those of you who are old enough to remember it, if you're not, go on YouTube and it'll show you. Kobe was a rookie playing for the Los Angeles Lakers. This was the end of his rookie year. The Lakers did make the playoffs. He had a teammate by the name of Shaquille O'Neal, and the Lakers were a good team. They were not a great team, but they were a good team. They were playing against the Utah Jazz. I don't remember if this was the first round or the second round of the playoffs, but the Lakers were down late in the game, and the Lakers needed somebody who could create a shot. That means somebody who can dribble around, create space, and get their own shot off, and nobody else on the team had really been able to get it going. So the Lakers coach put this rookie, Kobe Bryant, in the game. Let's see what he can do. We know what Kobe can create. We know he can dribble. We know he can create space and get his own shot off. Maybe he can be the one who gets something going, because nobody else is getting anything going. They get Kobe in the game. Kobe shoots 3 air balls down the stretch of that game. The Lakers end up losing the game, get eliminated from the playoffs. That's the end of their season. Now, of course, the people who were naysayers to a high schooler coming to the NBA and being successful, or saying maybe Kobe wasn't going to be successful, said, well, here's proof. Look at him. He's a rookie. They threw him into the fire in the NBA in the playoffs, and he shot 3 air balls. He's not ready. He shouldn't be in this league. He should have went to college. He made a mistake. He's never going to make it. And these are the things that people were saying, and they had proof positive right there on the spot that maybe they were right. Kobe Bryant, the story goes, when the Lakers got off the team plane in LA, because they lost the game was in Utah. They lost that game, got eliminated from the playoffs. When the Lakers got off the team plane in LA, Kobe says he didn't even go home. He didn't even go to his house. He went straight to the Lakers training facility and started working on his game, because he did not want those air balls that he shot, he didn't want that to happen again. And later on, years later, I believe this was after his retirement, he said he realized that it was just that his body had become weak. As a high schooler, he was used to playing 20, 30 some games a year. In the NBA, you got 82 games, you got an incredible amount of travel, and then you had playoff games on top of that. And Kobe said, my body just wasn't built for what the NBA season was going to demand of it. But now that I've been through it, now that I have the activity knowledge and the experience that even came from that failure, now I know some things that I didn't know before. Now this offseason, after his rookie year, I could build my body up and be ready for what's coming in the second year. And I think we can all agree he was ready by the second year. So what happened that second year? Second year, Kobe Bryant was the Lakers' sixth man, is what they call it. In basketball, for those of you who don't know, 5 people are on the court at all times. 5 people start the game. The sixth man is the person who's usually the first person to come off the bench. So that's the 6th player to actually get in the game. The 6th man is a very important role in basketball because some guys, you could be the 12th man and never get in the game at all. So Kobe was the 6th man for the Lakers, not even a starter on their team, but he was an integral part of the team, obviously being the 6th guy because 5 guys don't play the whole game. Kobe was so popular. He was good and he was also popular. I think his popularity outstripped his goodness, his production by a little bit his second year in the league. Again, those of you who remember this year, you have to agree to this. It's not a knock on Kobe, but he was more popular than he was actually productive because popularity was so high. It's not because he wasn't good, because his popularity was way, way higher than where his production was to that point. Kobe got voted in to be a starter in the NBA All-Star game. Now, mind you, he wasn't even in the starting 5 on his own team, but the fans were such fans of Kobe. He had so many fans out there. He got voted in to start the All-Star game of all the players in the Western Conference in the NBA. But here's the thing about that game. Here's the thing I want to point out, because I'm not telling you that you need to go and become popular like Kobe, because sometimes that's a magic formula that if I could tell you exactly what to do that's going to make you that popular, then listen, we might not even be doing the show right now. But what happened in that game? 1998 NBA All-Star game. The game was in New York. If you watched that game or you go look up the video on YouTube, here's the thing that I want to point out to you about Kobe. Remember, we're on the second point, which is sink or swim, meeting the challenge. Kobe, even though he was the only guy in that game who was not a starter for his own team, everybody else who made the All-Star game, all 24 guys, were starters for their own teams, even though they may not have started in the All-Star game. Kobe was starting in the All-Star game, one of the 10 most popular players in the world, because at that time, 1998, all the All-Star starters were chosen by the fan vote. So whatever the fan vote said, those were your 10 starters. The players did not get a vote. The media did not get a vote. The coaches got to choose the rest of the guys who made the roster, numbers 6 through 12 on the All-Star game roster. But the top 5 starters were all chosen by the fans. So Kobe Bryant and his teammate Shaquille O'Neal, Michael Jordan, these guys all got voted in as starters. Here's the thing I want to point out to you about that game and those starting 10 guys. Kobe Bryant didn't seem out of place. This is the part about Kobe that I want you to notice. And remember, the point is sink or swim, meeting the challenge. He got voted in to start in the All-Star game when he wasn't even starting for his own team, but then you put him on the court with these other 9 guys who are all starters on their team. They're all the franchise players on their team. They're all big money guys. They all are well-established players. They threw this guy in there who wasn't even starting, and he looked like he belonged out there. He looked like he was one of them. He did not look like somebody who kind of got into the All-Star game by luck. These days, sometimes you see players who are role players on their own team, but they have this cult following, so fans are voting them up, and it's looking like they may get a chance to start in the All-Star game. Doesn't happen now because the NBA's changed the voting rules so that even if the fans vote in some guy who's the 8th guy on their roster, they're still not going to get the starting spot because the player vote and the coaches vote, the media vote is not going to allow it to happen. But the thing is, back then, as I said, Kobe got voted in. And he didn't seem out of place. He didn't look like some happy-go-lucky player who knew he didn't belong there. It wasn't a joke that Kobe Bryant was starting in the game. Of course, everybody was bringing up like, yo, this guy doesn't start for the Lakers. But he stepped into it as if, listen, I'm right up here with Michael Jordan. And if you remember that game, and you can YouTube this if you don't remember it, Kobe was going at it with Michael Jordan out there in Madison Square Garden in that game. Kobe took it as a personal challenge or to try to prove himself by going up against the biggest lion in the room, which was Michael Jordan at that time, who would go on later that season to win his 6th and final NBA championship. Now, Michael, we got to keep it real. We talked about Michael in Masterclass number 1217, Virtual Mentors, episode number 5, Michael Jordan. Michael had to spank Kobe a little bit in that All-Star game, and you go look at the video and see it for yourself. That's what happened. Michael had to spank him a little bit, but the fact that Kobe stepped up and that he was willing to meet that challenge, and he was willing to go at Michael Jordan. He was calling for the ball to go at Jordan, waving off screens so he could go one-on-one against Mike and prove that he belonged out there on the court with everybody else, and he didn't look out of place trying to do it. He didn't look like somebody who didn't belong out there. Sometimes in life, you can go into a situation and look at a person and you can just tell. You don't have to know anything about the situation. You don't have to know the details of the industry or how things work or be an expert at all. You don't have to be a trained eye in any way, shape, or form. You can just look at somebody and say, all right, this person right here, he just doesn't belong here. Something about the way he's moving and his energy and his confidence and his facial, something about this person is telling me that they don't belong in this group. Kobe Bryant wasn't one of those people. When he got thrown into that fire, I mean, he wanted to be in that fire, but when he got thrown into that fire with the starters, he knew he belonged on that level. And I think we can all agree that the future years where he was a starter in the All-Star game, like damn near every year for the next, 15 or so years, that proved it. That this guy knew he belonged up there with the best players, and then he started playing exactly like that. And that was the last time, that second year, that was the last time his popularity outpaced his production. Because every year after that, he was just as much, if not more productive than he was popular. And he stayed popular. He stayed a starter in the All-Star game. I don't think Kobe ever was not voted a starter in the All-Star game every year that he actually made the All-Star game. Y'all can double check that for me. Point number 3. Today's topic, we are paying tribute to the legend, Kobe Bryant, who passed away just yesterday. I'm recording this on Sunday, but when you hear this, it's going to be Monday. Point number 3, Kobe Bryant wanted the moment. Now, this ties right into what I talked about in point number 2. That even in that Madison Square Garden All-Star game, when he was the only one who wasn't a starter for his own team voted in, he still wanted the ball. He was still trying to get his highlights, and he did. Go look up the video again. He was still going at Michael Jordan when all the other guys on that team, on the end of the game, none of them wanted to go at Michael Jordan because they knew that Michael was such a competitor and so cutthroat and was already the champion. They're like, nobody wanted to really make a spectacle of going at Mike in that game because they knew Mike might get him. But he went at Mike anyway. But anyway, what I'm talking about here in point number 3 is Kobe wanting the moment. Kobe's rookie year, when he wasn't playing a whole lot, when he averaged, I believe, 7.6 points per game, less than 8 points a game as a rookie in the NBA. And he didn't play that many minutes. There were some games where he barely played at all. But his teammates would say that whenever Kobe would get in the game during his rookie year, the times that he got a little bit of playing time, he would try so hard to make plays and to get a highlight or get a dunk or do something just to show the coaching staff and his teammates and the opponents and the fans that he belonged on that court instead of on that bench. That his teammates start calling him Shobi. Instead of Kobe, they called him Shobi because he was always trying to put on a show in a small amount of opportunity that he was getting. Now, I talked about this in other master classes here because I get athletes who come to me all the time saying, Dre, I don't get a lot of opportunity. I don't get a lot of chance. I don't know how to, what do I do to get my coach to give me more playing time? Or I want my coach to let me play this way, but my coach wants me to play that way. What am I supposed to do? Well, you could do what Kobe did. Kobe had a sense of the moment. He understood that in life, human being, all of us out there, me, you, everybody, we do not do this deep analysis of what other people are capable of and what they're not capable of, what we think they could do, what we know they can't do. We don't really do that. We really base our judgments of people on what we see on the surface. And Kobe Bryant had a sense of it. He knew this in his bones. I don't know if he could have explained it in words, not back then at least, but he knew it in his bones that if all he did was come out and give people a show for the 2 or 3 minute stint that he was on the court, that the fans would be like, yo, put that guy back in the game. And he knew his teammates would say, damn, if he could do that in 3 minutes, we might need to give him 5 or 6 minutes next time. And he knew his coaches would say, wow, you saw what Kobe did in that little 3 minutes we gave him? We might want to play him a little bit more. We might want to think about putting him in the game a little bit earlier. And he knew the fans would say, yo, we want Kobe. He knew the fans would start picking up on that. I think he understood that inherently, again, without even being able to explain it back then as a 17, 18-year-old rookie. He was trying to put on the show because he knew the show was what people would remember. Now, he was more than the show. I want to be clear for all you athletes out there or any of you who are as an entertainer or any type of performer that Kobe was much more than just the show. He wasn't just trying to put on the show or trying to look good or just get a highlight. He was also trying to win because last time I checked, he had 5 championship rings, MVP awards, some gold medals, some All-Star game MVPs. He was about winning. Now, he happened to put on the show in the process of winning. It's 2 different things. Some people win in the process of putting on the show. Kobe was putting on the show in the process of winning. And again, there's 2 completely different approaches to how you handle your business. So I want to make sure I'm throwing that in there for those of you who might misconstrue that message and think I'm telling you something that I'm not telling you. Kobe Bryant in the summer of, it was either 2001 or 2002, Kobe showed up, New York City, Rucker Park, Harlem, New York. and he played in the Entertainers Basketball Classic, which at that time was the most popular street ball basketball event going on. And we're talking the actual street, like outdoor basketball courts, okay? Not a conditioned gym where you can set up your cameras and your folding chairs and your traffic cones and do your drills. He showed up to the outdoor courts in New York, that's where it was at when it came to playing street ball back then. This was when the N1 mixtape was popping off, and street ball, real actual street ball, not gym ball, but street ball was going on. Kobe showed up to that tournament or to that event, and he played in the game. And he did his thing out there in the game because Kobe Bryant understood the moment. And this is before any superstar level NBA player would show up to a game like that and just play. Now, there were some maybe role player type guys who might show up and play in those that didn't become news. Kobe Bryant, this is after the Lakers had won the championship in the NBA. He shows up at Rucker Park and actually plays against a bunch of dudes, none of whom are in the NBA. Maybe some overseas guys, some famous street ball guys. And he goes out there and plays because he wanted to let everybody know, look, not only can I do this on TV against these dudes in the NBA, I'll do it against you dudes too. All right, y'all think y'all the shit because y'all playing street ball. And again, this is when street ball was popping. This is when everybody who was talking about basketball, you were either talking about the NBA or you were talking about street ball. The D League did exist before it became the G League. Nobody was talking about that. No one was talking about overseas. No one was talking about, there was no Instagram, there was no social media, there was no YouTube. It was either NBA or street ball. And then Kobe Bryant said, all right, I done killed it in the NBA. Y'all saw that, right? Y'all saw that? Okay, y'all watch TV, right? You got NBC? Okay, now look what I'm gonna go do out here in the street. Because y'all, at this time, the street ballers were talking a lot of shit. Those of y'all who are old enough to remember, especially the guys from New York, the N1 mixtape guys and the guys who are playing in the Entertainers Classic at Rucker Park in Harlem, these guys were talking a lot of shit like, yo, we just as good as the NBA players. If we had the same chances they had, we could be just as good as them. Or they should come play in the street with us so we can see what they really got. Because one thing when you playing in the NBA with all that structure, how about you come play out here in the street where you don't have all that structure? Let's see if you're still that good. And Kobe Bryant said, all right, I'll meet the challenge. I'll come out there. Now, I've heard there are legends that say there are some NBA players who showed up to those street ball games and didn't do too well. That some of them kind of got embarrassed or some of them got their asses handed to them by some street ball players. We will never know because it's all hearsay, it's all he said, she said. There's not a lot of footage of this stuff from back then. But the Kobe game, when he showed up to the Entertainers Classic, there's video of that. You can look that up. It's on YouTube. And Kobe showed up and did his thing. And this is before it was normal for an NBA player, especially a superstar guy, to just show up to some park, an outdoor park, and play in the league just because he felt like it. Now, nowadays, you may see more people doing it. Nowadays, I don't know. Do y'all even play pickup ball anymore or street ball anymore? I don't really see players playing in the street like that anymore. But Kobe was one of the first ones to do it, and he met the moment at the point when he was recognized as one of the biggest guys in basketball. It was him and his teammate Shaq. There wasn't anybody else that you could put above Kobe or Shaq at that time because they were winning the championships. Shaq was the big guy, Kobe was the backcourt guy, and he showed up and did his thing. Kobe Bryant's last career game, we all know about that one. This one is definitely on YouTube, 60 points. Now, the Lakers weren't even good that year. Kobe had not been very good that year either. He was on his last legs. He knew he was on his last legs. That's why he had announced before the season, this is my last season in the NBA. He didn't do too great because his body was breaking down and he knew that, which is why he stopped playing. The Lakers weren't great at all. But that last game, Kobe said, I got to give these guys a show. Because why? Kobe Bryant understood the moment. He understood putting on a show. He understood that, yes, it is about winning. Yes, it's about success and performance. At the same time, he was one of the rare breed of people who could not only understand getting the success and the production and the things that actually matter in the long run for the success of the organization, which is winning games and playing team basketball. But at the same time, let me give this crowd a show. Let me give people something to remember. Let me make sure they all understand that not only did you see a good basketball game here tonight, you saw a performance by a virtuoso. And that's what Kobe Bryant did. He was able to blend the two. And there are a lot of people who fumble with that. There are some people who are really great at doing the productive part, but they're not very entertaining. They don't know how to put on a show. And there's some people who are great at putting on a show. They're trying to be entertaining, but they're not producing. At the same time, they're putting on a show, but you're not actually producing the outcome that we need to produce. So you're not, and then they get criticized. It's like, yo, you're trying to put on a show, but you're not doing the thing that's going to help us move forward and advance. Kobe was able to do both seamlessly. And there are very few who are able to master that mix in anything, let alone basketball. But in anything, there are very few who could do that. But also, I got to tell you the best one. My favorite Kobe Bryant moment. And I've talked about this on the show here before. And those of you who are basketball enthusiasts, especially those of you who are Kobe fans, you know about this one. In 2008, Kobe won his first and only NBA MVP award. I think he should have won another one the year when he averaged 35 or so points per game. The Lakers were not good that year, but Kobe dominated that year. He should have been MVP that year, but he didn't get it. But they made up for it by him getting the award in 2008. The Lakers traded for a guy named Pau Gasol in the middle of the season. They went to the NBA Finals, but they lost to the Boston Celtics in 6 games in the 2008 Finals. But in the summer of 2008, there was an Olympics. It was held in Beijing, China. Team USA sent what we now call the Redeem Team out to Beijing to redeem the United States of America and take back the sport that we have traditionally dominated, being basketball. Because we have barely won the gold medal in 2000. We almost lost in 2000. And those of you old enough to remember, we almost lost to Lithuania that year on our last second shot. They missed. They would have made that, we would have lost. But we won the gold in 2000, lost in 2004, ended up with a bronze medal. And so 2008 was like, all right, in 2006 World Championships, we came in bronze again. 2008 is like, all right, we need to get our shit together and win this gold medal. They finally got Kobe on the Olympic team. Gold medal game. Team USA had done pretty well, dominating most of the tournament. The gold medal game, we were playing against Spain. And Spain had a damn good team that year. Really, really good team. I think Spain thought it was their year to win the gold medal in 2008. Came down to that game between those two teams. Fourth quarter, Spain mounts a comeback. USA had been up comfortably, I'll say 10 to 14 points most of the game. But Spain came back, made the game close late in the fourth quarter. A timeout gets called. Team USA comes out of that timeout. And the game's very tight. It's only a minute or two left in the game. Spain has some momentum. Spain senses that this is their moment. Mind you, we're still on point number 3 here. Kobe Bryant had a sense of the moment. Kobe decided it was his moment. This is what happened. It's 3 specific plays Kobe Bryant made. He got the ball, first play out of the timeout, drives towards the basket, does this like scissor kick in the air. It kind of looked awkward. It would have been awkward for any of us to try to do, but for him, he made it look like it was normal. Makes this shot. Makes a shot. I believe it went off the glass. It might have went straight in, but it wasn't a normal looking shot, but he made it look normal. Made it. All right, Kobe Bryant scores 2 points. Next time USA has the ball, Kobe Bryant catches the ball way beyond the 3-point line. Nowadays, it's normal for players to shoot that far from the line. It wasn't really that normal back then. Kobe did a jab step, another jab step, rises up to shoot, gets fouled, makes a 3-pointer. Boom. 4-point play for Team USA. That to me was the play that slammed the door on Spain to win. But then Kobe wasn't done. Next time USA had the ball, he drives towards the paint, draws the defense, kicks out the pass to Dwayne Wade. Dwayne Wade hits another 3. And that basically put the game away. Now that series of plays that Kobe Bryant made, that was a very, very tight moment for Team USA. They had, mind you, this is the best players in America that we had to offer. We had Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, Darren Williams, Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Jason Kidd. Who else was on that team? LeBron James, all on the team at that time. All of them, I don't remember the exact 5 that was on the court. I believe it was Darren, Dwayne Wade, LeBron, Kobe, and one other person. I don't even remember who it was. But Kobe Bryant was the one who wanted the ball. When the game got tight in that gold medal game and somebody needed to make a play, Kobe Bryant didn't make a play. He made 3 plays. He wanted the ball. He was that kind of player. When the Los Angeles Lakers, in the first time they made it to the finals with this new regime under the Kobe and Shaq era, with Phil Jackson as the coach, 2000 finals, Shaquille O'Neal fouls out. I believe it was game 4. It was either game 4 or game 5. The game was in Indiana. Shaquille O'Neal fouls out. Now, Shaq averaged damn near 40 points and 15 rebounds in the finals. And if you don't know basketball, that's a lot. Okay, he was damn dominant. Nobody could stop Shaq during those 3 years the Lakers won the championship. 3 years in a row the Lakers won the finals. But he fouls out one game. So the Pacers and their fans are really happy. The game's in Indiana. They're like, all right, here's our chance. We're going to win this game because Shaq fouled out. Oh, it's a wrap. Not so fast. Kobe Bryant, who, mind you, this is their first time getting to the finals. So they're not like these grizzled veteran champions. They haven't won a championship yet. Kobe Bryant steps up, and he starts making play after play after play with Shaquille O'Neal fouled out of the game to help the Lakers pull out the victory on the road in the NBA Finals. And when he was making those plays, again, go YouTube the video. Kobe would gesture over towards the bench and towards his teammates, like, everybody just calm down, just relax. I got us. I got this. And this is Kobe Bryant at this time. What is he, 20, 21 years old, something like that? He'd been an all-star a couple times at this point, but he hadn't really proven that he wasn't a champion yet. He didn't have any rings on his fingers. They hadn't won anything yet. But he had a sense of the moment, that this is the moment that I need to step up. I'm going to be the guy. Here is where I step up. And I bet you any amount of money, we'll never know. But Kobe never had to say this to himself. He didn't have to tell himself, hey, this is the moment. This is when I step up. He just understood it. He felt it. He was born with this sense of the moment. He just had a sixth sense for knowing when that moment was. And that right there, that sense of the moment is what made Kobe Kobe. One of the things that made Kobe Kobe. Point number 4. Today's topic is we're giving the tribute to the legend, Kobe Bryant, for not only what he did on the basketball court, but how hopefully those of you who are not athletes or listening between the lines, how all of this stuff applies not only in sports, but also in life. Number 4, putting the work in. Now, this could have been the first point, but we could put it right here. Putting the work in. Now, this is the most basic understanding for anyone to achieve success at what they do. You ask anybody who's become successful at anything, what did you do to become successful? Everybody's gonna give you the same answer. You gotta put the work in. You gotta work hard. You gotta work on your fucking game. Can we all agree that even though I'm 99% sure nobody listens to this knew Kobe Bryant personally, or I'll say 99% of the people listening to this didn't know Kobe personally. Let's say that. That's a better way of saying it. Even though you didn't know Kobe Bryant personally, may have never met the man, can we agree that it's reasonable to assume Kobe Bryant put the work in? All right, to be as good as he was, that wasn't just all natural talent. Now, Kobe had a lot of natural talent, but we can't agree he put some work in to be that good, because he wasn't the first, nor would he be the last talented basketball player to come across the court. Kobe, by all accounts, since we weren't there, he put the effort in. He worked on his game. Now, when you combine that kind of effort with talent, then you get magic. Now, I told you in masterclass number 1103, the title is The Greatness Equation. What happens when you combine certain levels of talent with certain levels of effort? You take a person who has no talent and gives no effort, what do? You get a failure. Person with a lot of talent and no effort, you get an underachiever. Person who has a lot of ability, but they never reach it. Take a person who has no talent, but they work really, really hard at something, but they have no talent at it, what do you get? The best you could possibly get is mediocrity. You take a person who has a lot of talent, and they work hard at that thing, that's when you get greatness. Kobe Bryant was in that 4th category. He had a lot of talent for basketball, but he also worked really hard with the talent that he had and turned that talent into additional skill, and it became greatness. Combine that with the performance, the results he produced, his sense of the moment, all these things we've been talking about so far, that's when you get greatness. That's when you get legends. Kobe Bryant became a legend because he understood that talent equation. He put the work in at the right thing. Now, if Kobe put that same work in at tennis or being a computer scientist, we might not be talking about him. We might not even know him. But he chose the right mix. And maybe some of that was luck. You can call it luck, but it worked out for him. There was a story that a guy told. I believe this has been out on the blogs for years, but those of you who want to look it up, you can look it up. I believe this was from the 2008 Olympics as well. It might have been the 2012 because Kobe played on that team as well. But that year, Team USA obviously has their team practices, and after practice, and they had all these assistant coaches who were with Team USA, right? And they were there to assist the players and help them out, anything the players needed, et cetera, et cetera. But these coaches and players are all coming together just for this, let's say, 6 to 8 week period to play on Team USA. They don't know each other. They didn't spend a whole season together. Sometimes they're just meeting for the first time when they show up there. So one of these assistant coaches, I don't even remember who this guy was. I don't remember his name, but I remember reading this story. And he blogged about this after the Olympics had happened. He had come up to Kobe because he was an assistant coach and let him know amongst a bunch of other players, hey, if there's anything I can do to help you out, anything you need, Kobe, I'm an assistant coach. I'm here to assist. So let me know if I can help you. And Kobe said, hey, sure, man. Thanks for letting me know. So practice ends and it's late at night, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. And that same assistant coach who had offered a lending hand to Kobe, if Kobe needed it, his phone rings, his hotel room phone rings. Guy answers, it's Kobe on the phone. And the coach is like, oh, hey, Kobe, what's up? He had no reason to think Kobe Bryant would be calling him. And Kobe says, well, hey, I wanted to get a workout in. Could you help me out? Could you put me through a workout? And the coach says, hey, sure. All right, I'll meet you in the gym. And the coach, I remember reading this story. He was about to go to sleep. But when his phone rang and it's Kobe Bryant saying, can you put me through a workout? Obviously, that woke his ass up. So he went down to the gym, put Kobe through a workout, hour or two long workout. And after the workout ends, Kobe says to the coach, hey, coach, thank you for putting me through the workout. I'm going to get some shots up here on my own, but I appreciate it. Thank you for your help. And the coach says, cool. And the coach knows that Team USA has practice at 8 o'clock the next morning. So by the time this workout ends, it's like 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't remember the exact time, but it's not much. Excuse me. It's not many hours left for the coach or Kobe to get some sleep before practice. So the coach is like, all right, I appreciate it, Kobe. Glad I was able to help. He gets back up to his room and tries to get what little amount of sleep he can still get before he has to be downstairs for practice in the morning. So coach goes back upstairs, gets a little bit of sleep, comes back down for practice in the morning. It's 8 o'clock in the morning. He's a little groggy because he didn't get a whole night of sleep. He sees Kobe in the gym. He says, hey, Kobe. And Kobe's like, hey, what's up, coach? Thanks for that workout again. And the coach says, yeah, no problem. Oh, yeah, let me ask you, what time did you get done? And Kobe looked at the coach and says, huh? And the coach says, well, after I put you through that workout, Kobe, you said you're going to get some shots up and then you will be done. So I'm just asking, what time did you get done with your workout before you went to sleep and came back down for practice? And Kobe says, oh, I just wanted to make, 1,000 shots after we were done our workout. So I just finished just now. And the coach did a double take and looked at Kobe wide out. He said, wait, you finished just now? And Kobe says, yeah, just now. You can't read between the lines of that story. Kobe stayed up through the night, working on his game. First of all, asked an assistant coach to give him a workout because he wanted to get worked out. Then did his own workout after that workout, stayed up through the night, and then practiced with Team USA that morning at 8 o'clock in the morning. I'm telling you that to tell you this. Kobe Bryant put the fucking work in. He was still there after that workout and put his own work in. In the second, third year in the league, I'll tell you another story. I remember watching a game on, I believe this was NBA on NBC back then at this time. About Kobe's second or third year in the league, he started making a lot more outside jump shots. Now, 2008 Olympics, he had been in the league over 10 years. But his second or third year, he's making all these jump shots, mid-range jumpers. This is before analytics made everybody scared to take mid-range jump shots. And during a game, how they had the sideline reporters who might give you this little tidbit of news during the game. So during the game, one of the sideline reporters came on and they were talking about how, hey, Kobe Bryant has improved his jump shot and he's taking a lot more outside shots and he's making a lot more outside shots. And the reporter said he was talking to Kobe. And Kobe told him, he let him know, like, yeah, during the off season, I was taking 2,000 shots a day to, get better at shooting outside shots. Since we got Shaquille O'Neal down there near the basket, I knew I needed to become a very strong perimeter threat. So I got to be able to make the shots on the outside. Shaq can kill him on the inside. So we become this inside-outside dual threat. And the reporter said, okay, cool, Kobe, that's great. I mean, you were taking 2,000 shots a day. That's excellent. And Kobe actually had to correct the sideline reporter and say, no. I didn't take 2,000 shots a day. I made 2,000 shots a day. I just want to let that one sink in for you athletes out there. Now, I also heard Kobe say, because people would ask him about, of course, he would get asked a ton of questions back then about his training routine. How do you stay in shape? What do you do to work on your game? How many shots do you get up? All these type of things. And people would ask him about his conditioning. Kobe, how do you get yourself in your best possible shape for basketball season? Now, Kobe had written a book. He published a book, I believe it was last year, called Mamba Mentality. Now, the book was more of it was actually, if you read the fine print, it was actually a photo book. It was more about the photos in the book than it was about the actual writing in the book. That's the way that they actually produced it. It wasn't Kobe sitting for months and writing out his whole life story. I was really excited to read that type of book. I'm sure Kobe had it in the works. Who knows how much he had gotten done to this point, if we'll ever see anything that came from that. But one of the things that I heard Kobe say, not in the Mamba Mentality book, but you should read that book, because I think it was, if you're a Kobe fan, you would enjoy the book. Let's just put it that way. I heard him say that when it came to his conditioning workouts, that if he wasn't coughing up blood, he didn't feel like he was working hard enough. I want to say that one more time for you athletes out there. He said if he wasn't coughing up blood, he didn't feel like he was working hard enough. Now, that's not me suggesting that you go try to make yourself cough up blood, because who knows if you even have the capability of doing that. We have some self-governing mechanisms to keep us from, hurting ourselves to that level. Some people are able to overpower those mechanisms, such as Kobe, if what he said is to believe to be true. What I'm telling you is you need to think about how hard you're pushing yourself. Are you pushing yourself just to the point to where you get uncomfortable, or are you going past that? And how consistently are you doing it, if so? I'm going to let you marinate on that as we move on to point number 5. Today's topic is we are paying tribute to the legend Kobe Bryant, who passed away yesterday in Los Angeles in a helicopter accident. Point number 5, Kobe Bryant. Let's move off the basketball court. Kobe was all about moving on and always improving. I think we can agree to that, right? Masterclass number 1349. That's what I talked about. The topic was how to move on in life. And I want you to understand, for those of you who may not listen to this show consistently, moving on in life is not just about when something bad happens and you try to move on to the next thing so you can get to the good stuff. Moving on is also moving on from the good stuff. When you do something great, like win a championship, you got another season coming up in a couple months. You do something great, like put out a best-selling book. Okay, now you got to write another book. Can you write another book just as good, or if not better than the last book? If anything that you did was amazing, if you give a great speech at a conference, okay, then 2 weeks you got to give another speech at another conference. Are you going to be just as good at that one as you were at the first one? You create a product or a service, or you launched something that you had a great launch, or you sold all these products, and you have all these clients and customers. Okay, can you serve those people and be just as good with your next product or your next launch as you were with the last one? Just because you were great at your last opportunity doesn't mean your next opportunity is going to be just as great. You cannot show up tomorrow hoping that yesterday's efforts are going to do today's work. Kobe Bryant was all about moving on, taking things to the next level. And I'm going to read you a quote. And I actually tweeted this yesterday. If you don't follow me on Twitter, I'm at Dre all day. But Kobe said this, and I remember hearing him say this shortly after he had retired from basketball, and he announced that he was going into all the other things he was doing, like storytelling, and he had some kids' movies or stories he had done, kids' books. He had a podcast for kids. He was obviously coaching a couple of his daughters who are basketball players. He had written his book. He was doing films. He was doing all kinds of stuff outside of basketball immediately after his career was over. And I heard him say this, I'm quoting now. Fast forward 20 years from now, if basketball is the best thing I've done in my life, then I have failed. These next 20 years need to be better than the previous 20. It's as simple as that, and that is what drives me. Understand something. This is a quote coming from a guy who was one of the top 10 in the history of the world at the thing that he did, basketball. Top 10 ever in history. He didn't have to do anything. Kobe could have retired from the Lakers, told the Lakers, yo, I want front court seats to every game for life, and just showed up to all the games, took his pictures, posted on his social medias, his Facebooks, his Instagram, and never did anything else the rest of his life, and the guy would be a legend. He didn't have to do anything else. He had made enough money, I'm pretty sure. But he still expected to do even better off the court after basketball. Why? Is it because I don't think he needed the money. I don't think he needed anything more on his resume. I don't think that he felt like he hadn't been recognized enough for his accomplishments or his success in life. I think he had plenty of recognition. He had the money. He had the resume. He had all the things that many of us every single day, we wake up and strive to do things because we're looking to make money, be recognized, have more achievements on our resumes, do things that so other people can't say that we didn't do them. Kobe had all that stuff checked off. He had checked off the whole list. Yet he was still saying, my next 20 years need to be better than my previous 20. Why is that? Here's why. Because being alive, ladies and gentlemen, if you're alive to listen to me, you can hear the words that are coming out of my mouth right now. What that means is there's a mission for you to complete. There's a mission out there that you need to handle. There's something out there that just you, need to do. I talked about this in masterclass number 693, the topic being how to continually progress in life. Just because you achieved something great in your previous life, in your previous career, or just yesterday, even today, that doesn't mean you can rest on your laurels for tomorrow and next week and for the rest of your life. Basketball coach, I believe he also passed away by the name of Tex Winter. He was the guy who actually brought the triangle offense to the NBA. He said, as soon as you are celebrating an accomplishment, even if it's holding up the championship trophy that you just won, you are no longer a success as soon as you start celebrating what you achieved because the achievement's already over. If you're holding up the trophy, that means you already achieved it. It's done. Now you got to go right back. You got to figure out what the next goal is. What are you going after now? See, success, as is oft said, is not just the achievement to get there at the end, but it's the journey. It's the process. Success is a process. Success is an ongoing thing. It's a renewable service. It's a renewable product. It's not something you get one time. You hold a trophy. Oh, I'm a success because I have the trophy. No, you're a success when you're working towards the trophy. And as soon as you hold the trophy, if you don't have the next goal to go after, you are no longer a success. At that point, you're a failure because what are you working on? A success means you're working on a worthwhile ideal, a worthwhile outcome. Kobe Bryant understood this. Again, he didn't say it in so many words, but I think he understood it inherently that to be a success, he had to have something to be working on. He couldn't sit back and say, hey, everybody, I scored 60 points in my last game for the Lakers. And then 5 years later, he's still talking about that, not doing nothing for 5 years. He didn't want to be that guy. Now, there are some people in life who are that guy or that girl. But he was all about moving on in progress. He was not going to lay on the beach and live off of his past for the rest of his life, even though he very well could have. He had enough accomplishments to do so, and nobody could have knocked him for doing it. But he decided that he was going to keep going. Kobe Bryant was creating the next thing, even though the previous thing had been legendary. Now if your previous thing, whatever it was or isn't as legendary as Kobe Bryant's, if you're not one of the top 10 in history at the thing that you're doing or have done, but you're resting on your laurels, I got one question for you. How? Point number 6. It's our last point here today, and we are giving tribute to the legend, Kobe Bryant, who passed away in Los Angeles yesterday. Here's the question. What can we do now? What do you do now after all these things that I've said? Even if you don't play ball, even if you are not into sports at all, you're just listening to this because you listen to this show and you want to hear what I got to say, even though you're not a sports person. Let me tell you what you can do. I'm going to give you my call to action for anyone who has listened through this hour-long show in tribute to Kobe Bryant. Here's what you do. Carpe Diem. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it's a Latin phrase that is translated to seize the day. Carpe Diem. Kobe was fond of this phrase. He even had a pair of his sneakers named after, I believe it was the Kobe 4s, Carpe Diem. You can look those up on Google. And again, I told you it's a Latin phrase meaning seize the day. And what that means, it's urging a person to make the most of the present moment and give little thought to the future. And when it says little thought to the future, it doesn't mean don't ever consider the future or what your actions today, what ramifications they may have in the future. What it means is don't be so worried about what's going to happen tomorrow that you're doing nothing today, that you're not doing what you need to do today. You're not taking full advantage of the opportunity on hand that is your present life. And I believe Kobe Bryant embodied that spirit. He was all about seizing the day. He made the most of his moments. As I've explained here to you over the last 55 minutes, he made the most of his moments. Well, can we all agree? Masterclass number 483. I told you that procrastination is a capital crime against success. A lot of people procrastinate about going after their success or even becoming a success, meaning going after something. A lot of people don't go after anything because they're saying, oh, well, I'll do it tomorrow, or I can't do it yet because I don't have the information, or I don't know the right person yet, or I can't do this, or I don't have the money, or I don't have the resources, or I don't have the information, or I can't do this, or a whole lot of myriad bullshit excuses that people have for not doing what they want to do. Listen, you know what your excuses are. You know your excuses for not seizing the moment, seizing the day, and making the most of the opportunity that you have right now, which is the only one that you have right now. The only opportunity you will ever have is the present moment. The past is already over, and you are not guaranteed the future. I think every time someone that we know of or someone close to us passes away, it reminds us for a short period of time that we're not guaranteed anything in the future. You're not guaranteed a future, period. So when you procrastinate, first of all, you're disrespecting the fact that you ain't guaranteed time. You're basically saying, I'm guaranteed the future, when no, you're not. Let me ask you a question. You think Kobe had some plans for February, March, April 2021? Some plans for where his kids were going to go to college? You think he had some plans for that? I'm pretty sure he did. But he won't get to see them. I'm sure you had some plans for the future. But what are you doing today? Are you holding off on doing what you need to do or what you can do today because you're saying, I'll get to it in the future? What future? You might not have a future. The only thing you're guaranteed is right now. Right now, when you're listening to me speaking into your ears, this is the only thing you are guaranteed. My question is, what are you doing with it? how much are you seizing the day? How much are you seizing the moment? And how much are you mortgaging today because you think you'll be able to get to it tomorrow or the next day or next year, or when you get the money, or when you get the information, or when this person helps you out, or when somebody calls you back, or when you get the response email? How many things are you putting off until tomorrow that you are not even guaranteed? That's something that you really need to, don't just take it from my lips to your ears as just something to think about right now. It's something that when you turn this off, you need to turn everything off and really think about that. Where are you not seizing the day? Because I'm pretty sure Kobe Bryant, 41 years old, 1 week from today, I'm going to be turning 38, February 3rd. 41 years old, I'm pretty sure Kobe Bryant had plans for the next 10, 20 years of his life. I'm pretty sure he had some ideas. Now, he was seizing the day, each day, to do his thing, but I'm sure he was thinking about what he was going to do in the future that he won't get to see now. And I'm bringing that up because every one of us, myself included, we have some things that we're thinking about that I'm going to do tomorrow and next week. Oh, I can't wait till 3 months from now when I get to do that thing and this thing right here. And I'm going to do to that. As soon as I do A, B, C, D, E, and F, I'm going to get to this thing right here that I've been talking about for the last 5 years. Listen, you ain't guaranteed to get to that point. Only thing you're guaranteed is right now. So what are you doing to maximize the only opportunity that you actually own, which is the present moment? You don't own any future opportunities. Zero. So when you're procrastinating to do your thing right now, you are committing a crime against your own success. It's a capital offense. Capital offenses, they give you the death penalty or they put you in jail for life. Masterclass number 1172. A lack of urgency is your biggest problem. This is the biggest problem most people have, not getting the things that they want. They just have no urgency about it. They're allowing time to be added to the equation of everything that they want to do as if you can get to it whenever you feel like getting to it. Again, every single day, there are people who pass away who had plenty of plans for the next 10 years of their lives that they'll never get to execute. Are you going to be the next one who has that same problem? Holding off on the life that you really want to live because you think you'll get to it in the future that you end up not having. Masterclass 1325. Why to start doing things now in all capital letters, N-O-W, now in life. Again, that's 1325. I suggest you go listen to that. Again, if you already have. And masterclass number 1326. Anybody know the topic of masterclass number 1326? It is how to live a life that is worth reading about. Kobe Bryant did that. So rest in peace to the legend, Kobe Bryant. I'm not even going to recap this episode. You go listen to it again yourself if you want to hear it again. Again, I'm leaving this open for everybody to listen to. I'm not going to put this just for the game group members. But those of you who like what you heard today, you want to hear these every day, go to Work on Your Game University, workonyourgameu.com. It is the link in the description to this video or episode, wherever you happen to be listening to this. You can get the full version of every single one of these I do every single day here on this show called Work on Your Game. My name is Dre all day, and please seize the day because you are not guaranteed another one. Work on your game.